English national team, possibly the Chinese national team, but it's tough to tell. It's Don Parker. How you doing, Don?
I'm doing very well, Adam. Looking forward to the play this morning. Probably the two best players left in the tournament, and they're meeting in the quarter. Great to see him back in full fitness. Had a bit of a knee injury, I think it was, Adam, back in August 2018. Moved down the ranking list, but I think he's going to take some beating. I don't know about you.
Of this event, that was in Dusseldorf, Germany. Olympic Games champion, as you can see, 2016, and he just has it all. Watching his match against Ugo Calderano, Ugo came out of the gates fighting so hard, was so strong in game number one, took it 11-8. And after that, Ma Long turned things around by game three. It was just too high of a standard for anybody to keep up, and Ma Long cruised through. But it was so impressive and almost scary how he's able to control the opponent and really figure out new tactics throughout. The 24-year-old here, the Dark Knight as he's known, Lin Gaoyuan made his way through in 2017 out of internal competitions like the Marvelous 12 after winning that to be on the international stage representing the most dominant nation.
Sounded pretty good to me, Adam. I remember first time I saw Ma Long, he came over when he was
It'd be shocking if it was a non-Chinese final, but for me, Ma Long is just the most complete, versatile, and tactically brilliant player left in the tournament. So here we go, it's a best of 7 men's singles quarterfinal. The Dark Knight to start it off with the serve, love all. Little bit of dismissiveness here. You want to take your time getting into it, Ma Long, or you have any better answers?
Well, that was electric footwork and a rocket forehand topspin on the first point of the game.
I like that for a band. Massively in allowing the opponent the first attack, but not the first point, not here. That extra bit of topspin, a little bit of side, and it really kicks. And the spin variation is something between his chop blocks, inside-out forehands, and that hooking forehand that's subtle but so effective.
Lin Gaoyuan, they're coming across to the forehand side of the table to return with the backhand, a technique a lot of the players are using at the moment.
Out of all the spectacular stuff, by the way, sorry to cut you off there, that Ma Long has, his service game makes it very difficult, and with his third ball waiting, I mean, there's so much pressure on the receiver, Don.
I always feel Ma Long as well has the ability, even when he's slightly off balance or stretching, to still play with power.
Ability to improvise and pull out these touch shots. I mean, he's not afraid to do anything. Top edge of the racket, though, seemed quite in control from the start. It's just 1 point between them now.
Oh.
Translates to international stage matches.
That's a really good question. Is the pressure different when you're playing in a domestic league as opposed to on the international scene? Pressure's a self-imposed thing, so I know for sure Ma Long is mentally tough. There's no question about that. I guess the question is, can Lin Gaoyuan, 24 years of age, he's pretty experienced now. So in theory, it's very similar. In practice, it's a question of can Lin Gaoyuan, it doesn't get much bigger, quarterfinal of the World Championships. Arguably the winner of this game in with a really good chance of taking the title. So a little bit of pressure. Can the youngster on the screen there take it? Next half hour is going to be very interesting.
Good angle here to go even wider that corner. You know, it's funny, in terms of his last appearance in 2017, Lin Gaoyuan had 10-5 at 5 match points in the 7th against Xu Xin. And Xu Xin came back to haunt Lin Gaoyuan and eliminate him from the tournament. Now, in terms of pressure, what you said, I think, is right. But Chinese, like when you're on the international circuit, I think there's a lot more pressure added. But when you're playing a Chinese teammate, some of that is freed up as well. Because if you lose, you haven't given up a spot. You just weren't the person to take the Chinese spot. So with that national pride and the country, the patriots, you can't say it's an expectation let down. Good timing here.
Take a few chances, go for a few 50-50 balls. If they go on, then he's in with a chance.
Good touch yet against Ma Long, and be very clever to find your opportunities. So
forehand. Good play by Lin.
So we will see. Parallel backhand does it. Third ball attack, surprise to the short side of the table. And game number 1 secured by the defending world champion. And we will be... Liang Jingquin. And Liang Jingquin has been quite dangerous so far, so nothing easy lies ahead for either of these two. But the task at hand might be the most difficult. Solid start here in game 2 with the serve, Ma Long.
Good tactics there from Ma Long. Slightly long with the service, anticipating Lin to come round and play the reverse backhand.
And here he pulls out the... A little bit late to Hyun, the defeater of a lot of players, but Tomokazu Harimoto most notably. So the last Europeans left in the event. Not nearly as consistent as Ma Long. Few people are with that shot. I think shot.
Crucial here for Lin Gaoyuan. When they come across plate from the backhand, from the forehand side.
It's a perfect example of why we call it the banana flip or flick, the Chiquita as it's been known in Japan and now around the world. The curve of the ball, just like a banana, long. Oh, that's an advantage. They still remember and apologize for quite often. Less freedom. Net ball again. Used to. 1 game point left for the dictator on the receive. And he takes it, a quality push inside the table. That extra bit of rotation to deter the third ball attack. Trying to will through their 24-year-old player, their favorite player, to stand his chance against the dictator. He's put up a good fight so far. Don, as you mentioned, from down 5-10 in game 1, coming back to 8-10. And if he can get Ma Long behind the table, Ma Long's dangerous from anywhere, but it'll definitely increase the chances that Lin Gaoyuan dominates the point.
The 5, I'm backing Ma Long. He's just got so much power, so much consistency.
Yeah, here, for example, it felt like he was bullied into a chase, a little bit of fetch. 2 in a row.
Down at the start of the third game. Pivotal moment for him here. If it 2007, 8, that sort of time. I imagine him in practice just loving it when he's there. He's just got everything. The complete player, really.
Yeah, in terms of passion, I mean, we've seen videos of him on the internet doing all sorts of crazy things, like around the world. Yuan definitely has an outstanding sense of touch, but Ma Long, he can do anything, as you mentioned, but from slowing it down with the control that he has, and to add little bits of side spin here and there to chop blocks so consistently, he has this wizard-like sense of fearlessness and knowledge about how to handcuff the opponent. Wow, that shot so difficult for you to find a place that he's not prepared. Good angle here, the timing was...
From that cramped position, he's playing with power.
Right. It aced people, and the only player in the modern era that I can think of that aces people with any consistency is this guy right
on a pretty regular basis. Here, you do see the long, fast serve down the line, perhaps not quite as much as you used to.
More powerful in the game and more crucial to have. It made me think about why. And I hurt out of the tournament. So back from the timeout. Ma Long up by 1. Winner, not even touched. So from then, here he is with 2 game points for a 3-0 lead. And that serve, the placement is just perfect. The Dictator up 3-0, hasn't dropped a game against Lin Gaoyuan. This is a man on a mission, the defending champion. Here we go to start game number 4. Ma Long in control still. You know, Don, you and I were talking about the dilemmas on that last serve that Ma Long has used very effectively and won him the last game.
Again, we're talking about innovations, the way the game's develop along there. Just put a little bit more side spin.
You know, in that point, it looked like it was out of reach, and still he made a quality shot back. How much consistency of Ma Long. I've seen reverse pendulum. I've seen shovel, traditional pendulum here. On the world worried, and even teammates talking about it like he might not recover. I would definitely have to concur.
Just
worked here. One of the most interesting, has 8 match points. It'll be a fight till the finish. I think Lin Gaoyuan will be learning over the next year or 2 of his life. And there it is, the Dictator has moved on to the men's singles semifinals. A 3rd title in a row. He's got 2 more rounds to go, but he's accomplished his feat so far in the task at hand. He has eliminated one of the last 3 Chinese players. The first 3 games were quite tight and a little bit of a comeback in the last, but just too much control from the Dictator. Let's hear what he has to say.